Three, two, one. Hello, 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 and welcome. Nice to have you here. Thank you for listening to the episode last week. For those who did, it was one I did not advertise in social media this time because the devastating fires in Greece were very much on my mind. And I had just recorded an episode a few days earlier that had nothing to do with the drama and tragedy that was unfolding. So I did not feel like doing any promos on that episode. It was Berlin oriented, quite light and cheerful, but still you found it and gave it a listen. So thank you for being such loyal and dedicated audience. Just to get some things out of the way for the fires in Greece, I don't want to spend too much time going into detail here, but I think that the sheer incompetence and negligence of the state is what has caused the same story to unfold year after year after year. And we don't have any kind of operational coordination around these initiatives. They've done a lot of terrible things like only hiring firemen for the summer, while everyone knows that you prepare for the fires in the winter. You open roads on the mountains, you clear out the way, you help understand the map and the vegetation. At the moment, Greece operates with forest maps from the 80s to what that can mean. If you don't have data on the fire, the perimeter, what type of vegetation, what type of wind, you cannot predict anything. You cannot run any model, you cannot coordinate where to try and catch the fire. And this is why we never catch any fire. The fires in Greece go out either because they found the sea, either because they have nothing else to burn in the forest, or because they have entered the town and they're burning cement. So, in one of three ways, the fires will stop, but the state's ability to proactively or reactively do anything besides evacuating vast areas in the fear of accidents that cause lives and letting everything burn behind. Because if all the people are evacuated from these areas, what is there to save? Trees, animals, fortunes of people. Most of the times, firefighter trucks are seen guarding the elite, the parliament member, and whatever local important personas. Now, what puts a counterpart in all of this is the ethics and dedication of all the volunteers that every time prove that only people can save the people. The amount of organizing that's happening on a volunteering basis is heartwarming, and the commitment from the firefighters themselves. But these two together cannot substitute a coordination at the state level around where to take units and how to treat the fire, which is non existent. No one knows anything. It's devastating to see. Last 8 years, 37% of all the mountains around Attica has been burned, not even counting the rest of Greece. Every year they promise that next year will be better, hoping that people forget until then, and very often they do if we look at the results of the elections. Not that this has to do with one party, this is something that pierces through all of the different parties. It's just an investment that they do not want to make. One thing they control, though, is the media landscape because of a complicated relationship between the few oligarchs in Greece that own the money, the oil, the energy, the groceries, the media, and the construction companies and the betting companies. Any vertical that can bring money, someone owns it, and usually they are friends with the government. When I say friends, they invite each other for dinner and they baptize their children and they often have relationships. You know, the elite is the elite. It doesn't matter if you are running the country or if you're running a business. If you are the elite, you meet with the elite. Why pretend it's any different? So the media landscape is doing an incredibly good work to try and protect the current government from the tragic failure that they are doing again and again. And to do that, of course, we talk about the climate change. There's nothing we can do. It's the climate change that causes that. It's not that we do not cut down trees. It's not that we do not upgrade the electricity grid, which is old and explodes. It's not that we have removed the forest agencies. We don't have forest troopers anymore. No one is there that knows the forest when a fire needs to be controlled. The fire units are coming from the city and they are sent in the mountain and they need to somehow be able to understand a terrain they have never seen before. Almost 2,000 gaps for firefighters, while we are easily occupying more than 5,000 police just to guard a protest. And when the poor firefighters went on a protest themselves to ask for things they should already have, like their equipment, their time off, a decent pay, and just to hire all of the gaps that exist in the force, what happened? The current government beat them up. The 5,000 police came and did their work. So we had the firefighters being beaten in the Syntagma Square because they asked for the Αυτονόητα in Greece. Αυτονόητα means the things you don't even have to think about. They should be a given. And a few months later now, the reporters are trying to snatch a good photo of a firefighter or a police saving some sort of a puppy or an old person to try and work on the communicational level and to put a counterweight in the thousands and thousands and thousands of acres that have been burned, the houses that have been burned, the animals that have been. I'll just close this part by saying, when I was trying to get my partner to come to Greece, we were in between Greece and Germany, back and forth. We had this game that we played, and it was called Point for Greece or Point for Berlin. So, for example, we were sitting at a taverna, and the Greek salad comes, and you eat that tomato and the onion, and the taste is uncomparable to whatever you find in Germany. Sorry, not sorry. And this would be a point where I would say, eat a tomato, point for Greece. Let's just say that in the past many years, I'm sad to say that a lot of points have been awarded to Berlin and Germany because it's not trying to kill me every time. Because in Greece, you can die from the fire, but you can also die from the water if it rains too much, because again, there is no infrastructure or plan or even a reparation to come after the damages. You can die from the wind, the trains can kill you, the roads can kill you, the government can kill you, the public healthcare system can save you, but less and less because it's being torn apart. And I don't want to rant, so I'll just say that Berlin is taking quite a few points. Last thing here, if you get, in Greece, we don't have HEMS, a rescue unit that is lightweight and can come find you. Like if you go hiking and you break your leg and you're done from the world, in most European countries, you can call the emergency services. And then they have rescue helicopters that will come find you very fast. They are equipped with paramedics and doctors. They can give you treatment as a first stage approach, and then they will take you to a hospital. This is something that exists whether you go hiking or if you have an accident that is a first-degree accident. A first-degree accident is one that time is of the most important. So in Germany, even if you hit in a highway and you're laying on the road, sometimes they will still send a helicopter to come pick you up because the time is of essence and the ambulance will be late. Not too late, you may still make it, but they just don't take the chance. Now, FYI, in Greece, we don't have a service that can do emergency health rescues. So what happens there is that the army can come get you, the firefighter unit can come get you, or a unit that is basically there for natural disasters, a unit that would, try to get people out of an earthquake. What this means in all three of these instances is that who is coming to get you is not clear. Usually these three services try to coordinate between them, but they're not made to be rescuing people in this way. Neither the firefighters, nor the army, nor a MAC, which is the emergency unit. So you will see a lot of stories about people being rescued after many, many hours in bad conditions. And whoever comes save you is not a trained medical professional. It's probably some seasonal worker or an army person. And the means with which they come, Super Puma helicopters and other types of helicopters, they're all very heavy. They're not made to be doing this. So they cost thousands and thousands of euros to operate because they're made to be doing different jobs, not saving individual people. But because we don't have a national service for helicopter emergency rescues, we just deploy whatever is around in whatever way it can come, if it comes. I don't know why I'm saying all that. If you come hiking in Greece, maybe get an AirTag, maybe get a health insurance, maybe don't go somewhere where a helicopter will need to rescue you because there might be no helicopter. And speaking of points to Greece, points to Germany, I don't want to nag too much about here. I'll just give data. If we look at the world, the top countries losing people to emigration, if it is taken in proportion, to the population, Greece is number 2 in the world in losing people. Based on the UN World Population Prospects 2024, number 2 in the world. Do you know what is number 1? Sudan, that country that is torn apart from war for years and years. Ukraine is number 4. We have more than double the immigration of Ukraine that has been hit with war for more than 2+ years now, if we don't count 2014. I'm not sure if there has ever been a strongest immigration wave for a country that is not in active war. We are the only country in the top that does not have an active war. And this is 2023. This is 15 years after the start of the economic crisis. But this is not something you will hear. Our president will keep talking about Greece 2.0 and keep shoving that pile of corruption, nepotism, favoritism, privatization under the carpet for as long as they can, until the carpet looks like an elephant. The elephant will look like the one from the Petit Prince, the Little Prince, where I think a snake has eaten an elephant. This is how that carpet will look like. But anyway, what you gonna do? I'll run for president one day. Let's close it with Greece and move on. Now, something that has been happening in life, and it's very frustrating, is that YouTube is striking back the ad blocks. It's probably something you have experienced. If not, I'm sorry, but it's coming. If you're already experiencing it, let's cry together in its other shoulder. So, ad blocker has been a huge part of my life ever since I was a teenager. And there is this constant battle. Ad blocker learns to block the ads, and then YouTube or whatever website is trying to stop ad blocker. And there is a bit of back and forth. The new versions seem to be catching up. And yeah, it's a mouse and cat game, or a whack-a-mole game, or whatever you want to call it. But it seems that YouTube has put out the big guns trying to get the big money. And yeah, it has stopped. Adblock has stopped working. And the interesting thing is that I got a pop-up from YouTube itself that said, hey, listen, we know that you're using an adblock software. And just so you know, if you continue using it, you will stop being able to see videos. Now, you have 3 videos before we enforce the rules. And that was such a sneaky move. You could do nothing. There wasn't a button that says, no, I'm not using anything, I'm innocent, or, yes, I acknowledge. They just throw this pop-up and they say, hey, buddy, 3 videos to go, and then you start seeing ads. And yeah, I found that very sneaky. They made it so we need to digest it somehow, I even chose carefully what these 3 videos are that I'm going to enjoy in an adless experience. And eventually, I accepted it. It was painful, but I accepted it and I started watching commercials again. Now, we've talked about how attention is a currency, and in these times, it's like the highest currency. When I was a kid, I would watch things on television, and sometimes the break would be as long as the part I had just seen. So a 2-hour movie could have 2 45-minute breaks. This is 1.5 hours of commercials. And I would just watch that. That wasn't a problem. But now you are asking me to see a 15-second ad now while I'm watching my YouTube video. This is unacceptable. So I am in this turmoil now. And what I notice is that, first of all, ad blocker also talked to me, and it says that it has a premium version and I can get that one. And I'm wondering, what does this even mean? The whole idea of having an ad blocker is to not pay. Like, why would I try to pay the ad blocker instead of paying YouTube in the first place so I stop seeing the ads? I don't know who thought of this, but Adblocker is also upgrading itself, asking us for money for better ways to deal with ads. No idea how that works, but Adblocker, I have you in my heart. I remember when the founder was asking for a coffee, and I think I have donated 1 or 2 euros for a coffee at some point, but asking me to get a subscription service for you to help me not watch ads and pay money elsewhere. is just a paradox. So, yes, frustrated voice, this is me. Ads are part of my life. But now I started observing how they're doing it, and this is infuriating. They don't have a set duration that they will show you. They're testing you, they're training you. They are upping your tolerance, trying to train you to be able to withstand longer and longer ads. It's insane. So here I am, Hermes, the lab rat of YouTube. And for example, if I'm watching the exact same show, Taskmaster, I watch it sometimes. Thank you, Nina, for that. If I use my phone to watch it, they serve me 5-second ads. Okay? And I can skip them. I can skip them after 5 seconds. And sometimes there's a second one. Now, if I use my computer, they started serving me 15-second ads. And they started slow. So first, they throw 5-second ad, you can skip it, keep watching your video. After some days, 15-second first ad. We think you can take it, Hermes. We've seen you watch these videos. We know you want it. So here's 15 seconds first. And then a second ad that is skippable, okay? You watch the first one, 50 seconds, so okay, you can just click away on the second one. You're free to go. You did your part. You earned your bread. Go watch your stupid video. And now, 2 weeks in, it has escalated to two 15-second ads in a row, both unskippable. Both unskippable. This is crazy. They're pushing it. They're pushing it more and more. I've even seen a 19-second ad. So this is what I am now. I'm just a little puppet in the world of attention span grabbing ads that YouTube is making billions out of. And I'm just there, a tiny little chess piece in their game. And still, my phone serves me one ad I cannot skip and then one I can skip. It's less time because they know in the phone you can just fuck off away. Like in the phone, your tolerance is much, much less. I can do half a gesture with my thumb and they're gone. They're out. The video is out. I'll go on Reels and go on TikTok. And I don't know where I'll go, but it's so easy to just go away and they know it. So they're pushing the shorter versions of the ads there. I don't know how to wrap this part up. I started trying to find alternative ad blockers and I've had some success. So I'm probably going to go back in the field. I had Adblocker Plus for so many years. We had created a relationship of trust. But now I need to go back on the market. I need to go back on the street. Ask, what's the word on the street? What's the new tool to get me out of this ad venture? It's just horrible joke, sorry. And I would accept if the ads I was getting were a little bit more relevant. I've said yes to everything. Everyone has my cookies. You probably have my cookies. I allow my location. I allow my metadata. I have given my soul to Google and all the services and what I will be the example in the future that they will say that you should not be like this in the internet. So bottom line, if I'm getting burned for it, if you have all my data, just show me an ad I want to see. Show me how to drill a wall and put a shelf on the wall. Show me a new cool gadget that I can put on my bike. Show me a stand-up comedian that is coming in town. Show me how to order with 2 clicks. Okay, they're doing that. Whatever, let's move on. On a few quick random things I want to share before I close this ranty Sunday podcast episode is this. Berlin news. I went to Badeschiff. If I'm saying this the right way, no one ever read it out loud for me. But Badeschiff is basically, if you're already in Berlin, you're listening to the version of someone who has no idea, has been there for the first time. So be nice with me. But basically, it's a venue that has a swimming pool that's built in the river of Berlin, and it's like a small beach, like a beach bar. It looks like a beach bar. It has its own swimming pool. It has sand. You can walk barefoot, feel the sand on your toes, and get nice drinks, and then go hang out in hammocks or go hang out in chairs that are laying back, enjoy the sun. And anytime you want, you enter that very big swimming pool that's sitting inside the river. It sounds bizarre, and it is bizarre, and it looks bizarre, but it feels great. And when you are in the river, in the swimming pool, you have amazing views left and right. You can see the bridge in Friedrichshain. You can see the tower in the back and all the nice buildings. And yeah, I tried this because I need water. It's very hot here and my lake game is not strong enough yet. I keep asking people, tell me your favorite lakes. I have been writing some lakes down, but I need time to explore them one by one. And so far, I haven't. That's the thing. So Badeschiff, it has a website. You can go there and book in time slots of 2 hours. It costs €8 for 2 hours. And I have to say, in the beginning, I thought the time slot is a bit too small, a bit too narrow, but 2 hours were exactly the time I needed to get a good start in the day. I went in the water twice for quite some time, swinging left and right, swimming, hanging, looking at the view. I had a really nice coffee. I had a small bakery thingy, sat in the chair, spoke with some friends. So yeah, this is nice. And this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get to know more places. So when I have a need, when I feel like I want something, my brain can bring me more options. This is something I had in Greece. I could always just close my eyes, listen to my mood, and know exactly where I want to go in town, what are my options, what is the vibe, what do I want to do. In Berlin, which is huge and has so many options, I'm still building that. So, Badeschiff, thank you. You've entered the list. On a second place, I found myself hitting integration new highs in Germany as I bought some new clothes and they were on this cardboard package. And I found myself ripping apart the cardboard package just to take out a small plastic piece, just so I can throw the cardboard part in the cardboard and the plastic piece in plastic. And let me tell you, it would take some time to distinguish these two. And I didn't even have a second thought. I was 100% that this is what needs to happen. Tell that to Hermes 1 or 2 years ago, he would laugh at your face, throw it in the black Mühle. So, yes, I'm reaching the final point. You know, when you have the tea bag and no one knows where the tea bag goes, you need to take the paper at the edge, throw it at the paper, take the string, cut it, throw it in the black one, open the tea bag, let the tea leaves fall into the biomühle, and then the other part. I don't know where it goes, okay? The tea bag is the last frontier. If you know what to do with the tea bag, tell me. Sometimes I throw it in the black one, sometimes I throw it in the biomühle. No matter where I throw it, I feel bad, okay? 2 more things and I'm off. First one, do you remember how I was getting messaged by scammers on Telegram in this pig butchering scheme where they just start telling you random things like, how sorry, wrong number. Do you have the presentation ready for Monday? Or could you please send me the latest, I don't know, executive decisions? And you're like, who the fuck is this? And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm just a successful, lonely Asian woman that confused your number. Let's start talking. And then slowly but surely, they know how to scam you. I had quite a few of these trying to start conversation, and I had documented my attempts to get them to stop. But now I found one approach that worked for good. Again, sorry if I'm repeating myself. There's a great John Oliver episode around this about the pig butchering scam. So you can see that and understand a bit more what I'm talking about. But basically, these scammers, many times, they're not doing this willingly. They have been tricked. They have been tricked that this is a job. They've been transported. They are withholding legal documents from them. And there are these massive scam farms in the borders of China with, might say the wrong thing here, but with Laos, or I don't remember exactly where they set them up, but there are places with very little jurisdiction where armed groups can very much be the law, and they hold people there and they have them running multiple scams a day with scripts, and they need to earn their freedom. And this changed a bit my perspective at the time. I thought, okay, maybe they're not the most horrible people. Maybe they have been scammed themselves. So now someone was messaging me and I straight up told them, hey, are you in a scam farm against your will doing this? And the person said, no, I'm Alice. Or they tried to stay to the script. And I said, hey, listen, man, I know that you're probably not enjoying doing this. I've seen NGOs rescue people like you. I just hope you're well, okay? And the last message I ever sent, and I haven't been contacted by any of these accounts, was the following. I hope you can find a better working job. Maybe try some remote working if you can, or customer support roles. But I hope you're at least safe and okay where you are. I hope you're not getting bad treatment from whoever is running that scam farm. I don't judge what you have to do. but please remove my number from any list you have. Okay? And the person, for the first time, broke character and said, okay, do not message me again, please. They said, please do not message me again to me, which I can only imagine might be because their logs are being looked at from their managers or whoever is running that scam farm. And me exposing the fact that I know where they are is probably a no-no. So yeah, a bit of a radical honesty approach, but if you get messages like that, you can just say, hey, I know you're in a scam farm. I know you don't have it going well for you. I hope you're safe. I hope you can look for a better remote job. And yeah, honesty worked. But this has been some news and updates. I see the clock and I see that we are over time. I'll stop it here. Thank you for staying so far, listening to my random thoughts for yet another Sunday. I love that you're staying by more than half a year. I love the idea that I'm still able to do this, bringing it weekly as best as I can. And I love that you're here to listen. So, huge thank you. This would not make sense without you. If you like, subscribe, make the algorithm take us to the moon. And until then, stay safe, stay cool, and stay awesome. Ciao.